place that matches every detail described in the Bible. A mountain, guarded, fenced off, and forbidden. It's not located in Egypt or in the place we were always told to look. Instead, it's in Arabia, exactly where the Bible actually places it. A place where man met God. For centuries, we've been looking at the wrong mountain. Exodus 19:18 says, Mount Sinai was completely covered with smoke because the Lord descended upon it in fire. Now, for the first time, researchers believe we may have found that very mountain, the one where the fire came down. There are altars of stone, a split rock, a blackened summit, and boundary markers still standing. But why was this evidence hidden, and why is it being revealed now to our generation? Join us as we uncover a forgotten story buried in the desert sands and ask the question no one dared to ask. What if the real Mount Sinai has been found, but in a place no one expected? Carved into rock is evidence that matches the Bible's description perfectly. At the base of the mountain, there's an ancient altar made of flat stones. Around it, carvings of bulls and calves. This kind of art is rare in Arabia, but eerily similar to Exodus 32, when the Israelites made a golden calf while Moses delayed. These aren't decorations. They speak of rebellion, just as the scriptures describe. Exodus 24:4 says Moses set up 12 stone pillars for the 12 tribes of Israel. That's not folklore, it's archaeology backing up the Bible. When we look at all of this together, one thing becomes clear. The book of Exodus doesn't offer vague symbolism. It gives us a detailed narrative with real places, real objects, and real events. It speaks of fire and thunder, of landmarks, rituals, and actual structures. If we believe this account is historical, then the physical evidence of that encounter should still be visible. And maybe in Northwest Arabia it is. Let's start with the split rock. In Exodus 17, the Israelites, newly freed from Egypt, cried out for water. God told Moses to strike a rock in Horeb, and when he did, water gushed out. Now, in the deserts of Arabia, in the ancient land of Midian, there is a massive granite rock over 18 meters tall, split perfectly down the middle. It stands alone, not part of any erosion pattern, and at its base, deep channels carved by ancient water flows, in a place where rain is nearly non-existent. Could this be the rock Moses struck? It matches the biblical description with stunning accuracy. Far from the tourist trails of Egypt's Sinai Peninsula, there stands a mountain almost no one knows about. Its name is Jebel al-Lawz. It's in northwest Saudi Arabia, the ancient region of Midian. And here the story takes a dramatic turn. After killing an Egyptian, Moses fled to Midian, Egypt. He married the daughter of a Midianite priest, tended flocks, and near Mount Horeb, he saw the burning bush. From the very beginning, the geography places Moses in Arabia, not Egypt. So if God's mountain was in Midian, could it be Jebel al-Lawz? This mountain isn't in guidebooks. There are no tourist buses, no souvenir stands. For years, the Saudi government surrounded the area, posted armed guards, and blocked foreign researchers. A forbidden zone in the middle of the desert, that alone raises questions. But what makes Jebel al-Lawz extraordinary is how perfectly it matches the Bible's account. Jebel al-Lawz stands over 2,400 meters high, one of the tallest peaks in the region. Its summit is visibly blackened, as if it were scorched by fire. Yet just beneath the surface, the granite remains its natural color. Some suggest the summit was exposed to extreme heat, maybe lightning or something more. Exodus says God descended upon the mountain in fire. Could this burned peak be the physical trace of that divine moment? The area around the mountain is wide and flat, perfect for hosting a massive camp. Just what the Israelites would have needed. Nearby ancient wells and grazing areas, ideal for people and livestock. Local Bedouins still call it Jabal Musa, the mountain of Moses. Did they know something we're only now rediscovering? While the world focused for centuries on the Egyptian Sinai, a mountain that doesn't match the biblical description, this quiet, hidden peak in Arabia may be the true witness of a divine encounter. Exodus 19:12. Set boundaries around the mountain and warn the people, do not climb it or touch even its edge. Whoever touches it shall surely die. This wasn't cruelty, it was sacred protection. God's presence made the mountain holy. The physical barriers were spiritual symbols, showing that holiness requires reverence, distance, and preparation. And at Jebel al-Lawz, those same boundaries appear to remain. Lines of stones carefully placed form a perimeter around the mountain's base. They aren't ruins of villages or farms. They look deliberate, intentional. Some scholars note how similar they are to the description in Exodus. Why build a stone fence around an empty mountain, unless you feared what might happen if you crossed it? Because if this mountain really is the true Mount Sinai, the consequences are massive. Religious tourism in Egypt would collapse. Churches, monasteries, and traditions built over centuries would be questioned. Billions of dollars invested in the wrong location, lost. For decades, scholars dismissed the idea that Mount Sinai could be in Arabia, but the evidence is growing and harder to ignore. Maybe tradition blinded us. Maybe the truth is just uncomfortable, because truth demands change, a call to this generation. In the last days, the mountain of the Lord's house will be established, and people will stream to it. Isaiah and Micah foresaw a time when God would restore his mountain, when secrets would be revealed. Luke 8:17, for there is nothing hidden that will not be disclosed. Maybe this discovery isn't a coincidence. Maybe it's prophecy, carved in stone. We live in a time when ancient secrets are being revealed. Technology now shows what the desert once concealed. This rediscovery is more than history. It's a spiritual wake-up call. Maybe the rocks are crying out. Maybe God is calling again. And maybe, just maybe, he's speaking to you. Reflect, pray, investigate, share. Because if this is truly the mountain where God once spoke to Moses, then maybe he's speaking to us again. Right now. In our world today, holy sites are marked with gold temples, gates, and fanfare. But here, worship took a different form. Stone upon stone, circling a mountain that once burned with God's presence. Could these be the same barriers the Israelites once stood behind, trembling with awe as fire came down? If so, what does it mean that these barriers still exist? That the command to not touch still echoes, not in words but in stone. Jebel al-Lawz is different. Satellite images show its peak is blackened, but the surrounding peaks remain untouched. No volcanic activity, no evidence of erosion, just heat, sudden, severe, and unexplainable. Again, Exodus 19. The mountain trembled violently, smoke rose like a furnace, and the people stood in fear as God descended in flames. Not metaphor, a real event that scorched the earth. And now the question must be asked, could this mountain, this charred, silent peak, be the remnant of a divine encounter? Chapter 7, why the secrecy? If Jebel al-Lawz is just a mountain, why is the area so heavily restricted? The Saudi government patrols the region. Researchers have been detained, interrogated, their equipment confiscated, photos deleted. Even on platforms like Google Earth, the area appears blurred or pixelated, unlike the rest of the country. Why such secrecy around an ordinary mountain? Unless it's not ordinary.